welcome back to Around the Acorn for our first show of the fall 2025 season. And we're going to start with national sports. And to start off, we're going to talk about MLB, as it's the World Series this week, starting on Friday, and kind of just want to hear what your predictions are and who's going to take the Finals MVP.
So I think it's pretty obvious. Not overthink it at all. I think the Dodgers got it pretty easy. I think you have that $1 billion roster. Should be pretty easy. And I think Freddie Freeman's going to win it, Finals MVP.
It's very simple. The Dodgers are going to take this 100%. Baseball's a game of money. Small market teams are not built to beat big market teams. You saw what the Dodgers just did to Milwaukee. I don't think it's fair. Toronto, I'd say, is a bigger market, but it would take. I just don't think Toronto's built to beat the Dodgers in a best of 7 game series. And just with what we saw when Shohei last played, I mean, how can you not say this guy's not going to be the MVP of this World Series? This is the performance that you get paid the most money in MLB history for. What we saw in the last round, I'm sure we're going to see it in the World Series. So it's simple. There's just no way that the Dodgers are not able to win this World Series.
For me, the Dodgers are the obvious pick, but I'm going to go with the underdog of the Blue Jays because, I don't know, their hitters have been great. Vlad and Addison Barger are leading in hits over the playoffs, and they've been dominant. And I think if they can get to the Dodgers bullpen, they really have a chance to take away games that they probably shouldn't win. Because the Dodgers do have one of the best pitching staffs you could see, but their bullpen is really, really bad.
Yeah, I think that's, if the Blue Jays were to win, I think that's a great goal, get to that bullpen. But, I mean, if you have Shohei pitching, getting 10 strikeouts again, and then hitting 3 bombs, I don't think there's a single chance.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Toronto got this to Game 6. Maybe it'll be a gentleman's sweep, but I think this could be a very quick and ugly series for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it'd be lucky if they got to Game 6, even Game 5, I'm going to be honest.
I think there's a world where the Blue Jays shock the world and win something that nobody expects them to win, especially against a team that pays as much money as the Dodgers do. They're here to save baseball, as people say. Now we'll rotate to the NFL. The NFL has been really crazy this year, especially in the AFC. And kind of go into who you think could be the Super Bowl winner right now, and then one of the tightest MVP races kind of seen in a while. It's not really between two; it's between a bunch of guys. Who do you think can win that?
Well, you mentioned the AFC, but I'm gonna go over to the NFC. Just the Bills and the Chiefs not really being on their game. The Eagles as well. I think if there's a year for a team kind of outside the top 4 to 5, it's been the last 3 years. This is the year, and I really think Tampa can win another Super Bowl, especially with how Baker Mayfield's playing. It's unfortunate that Mike Evans just got injured again because, obviously their last game has probably been the worst game they've played all season. However, Baker has just dominated in the fourth quarter of his football games, and that's what you need to win in December. And again, with some of these top teams not playing their best ball, I really do think it's going to be a team like the Lions. And I really think the Bucs are going to take it out just because it's just kind of, it almost seems like a transitional year. Burrow gets hurt way early. They haven't been themselves. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been really on his stuff. The Eagles, there's so many moving pieces going on there. I just don't think that wins are sustainable. And the Bills coming off of 2 tough games, I just think that even with the Bucs having all their injuries out, that they're playing one of the most well-rounded football around the league, and I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, I love the Bucs. I think Baker's great, but the Lions have been incredible on offense still without Ben Johnson. That was their knock on the entire year. That was their whole knock, was they don't have Ben Johnson anymore. What are they going to do on offense? And they have been better than I expected by a wide margin. Gibbs is absurd. Monty and Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles. You got it. Those 2 backs. Goff is playing great. Amon-Ra is doing amazing. I think it'd be very, very difficult for the Lions not to win, especially with how open that AFC is. When you have the Colts that are 6-1, if you get the Colts in the Super Bowl with the Lions, forget it. Give me the Lions every single time.
I'll go to the AFC here. I hate the Chiefs, but they're a very good football team. And Patrick Mahomes has been very, very good, even with the receiving core he's given. Rashee Rice just got back, and he's still better before. And their defense is always good. They're always solid. If I had to pick someone from the NFC, it'd probably be the Rams, because I just think they're one of the most well-rounded teams out there. Got one of the best receivers in the game, complemented with another receiver who's also one of the best in the game. They have a running back. They have a quarterback who's experienced, and their defense overall is just really good.
Yeah.
So next up, we're going to talk about the NBA as the first game started last night. What are your early predictions for your NBA champion and kind of looking at the MVP as well in the sport?
So for MVP, I think pretty easily, in my opinion, I think it's going to be Wemby if he can stay healthy. There was a quote from Boban's 7'4", and he said, "I'm looking up to Wemby." So Wemby might still be growing. If you get a 7'7" center that can shoot a three and dribble like he can, I mean, as long as he doesn't get hurt, I think he's easily going to win MVP. Last year, before he got hurt, he averaged 24, 11, and 5 stocks. I mean, that's absurd. He was the clear DPOI before he got hurt. And, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be hard to beat him, especially if he's putting up like 4 blocks a game. Like, I don't think there's a chance.
So MVP, this is just, again, kind of a dream scenario, but it would be awesome to see if Jalen Brunson can get it done. I think with a year with Cat under his belt, and just you saw stints of the greatness like the Knicks can have, but I definitely think their playoff play has held them back a little bit in their play down the stretch. However, I think this. I say Brunson because I think this is his last year. He can realistically win MVP. I think after this, I think it's just how basketball works in New York. If they fall short of the finals again, I think a lot of change is going to happen. You saw them fire their head coach, who statistically was a very strong head coach, and I think if they fall short again, you're going to see a lot more of that change, and you don't know what that's going to bring. So if there's a year for Jalen Brunson to win it, I think this is absolutely his last year. He puts up MVP caliber numbers, and I just hope that extra year of chemistry with Cat and the rest of the cast, that they're able to play better as a team down the stretch, and maybe some of those teammates helping Brunson in the MVP conversation. But I really think that he can get it done this year.
Yeah, I think the easy answer here would be Jokic because he's just the best player you can do. He averages triple-double every night, basically. But if I had to went with like a little dark horse, I'll be a little biased here and go Jaylen Brown. If he can lead that team to the playoffs and average something good, he kind of put up MVP numbers, he definitely can get it because without Tatum, people just say the Celtics are going to be worse, which I don't know if I believe that, but I hope Jaylen Brown could lead us there.
I think I'll believe that the Celtics are going to be worse this year without Tatum. But in terms of champion, I'm going to go off of his Brunson take. I had the Knicks winning. So last year, obviously, under Thibodeau, when he got fired, but they were 4th in defensive rating last year, so they're a very strong defensive team and 29th in pace. That's a big deal. If the Knicks can play their own basketball, get their defense stuffing them, running on offense, if they can up that pace just a bit, I think the playoff drought would be over. I think they have a good chance, especially with how open that East is right now, especially without Tatum in Boston.
Yeah, for champion, I mean, again, this is the earliest I've probably been asked to predict a champion, but with what I've seen, I think it's just tough not to say the Thunder going back-to-back. They look like their old selves against the Rockets. Even in those closing minutes, again, you see Chet get fouled out, arguably second, third best player on that team. And, I mean, they still looked – as close as it was, I really didn't think there was a moment the Rockets were going to win that game. The Thunder made every single shot they had to make. They made the Rockets play their best ball to have a chance in that game, but Thunder's still coming out on top. So again, I mean, it's ridiculously early, but I really think it just looks, if this is how they're going to play all season, if teams have to play their absolute best to push them into double overtime and they're still not able to get it done, I don't know how you're going to beat them, especially when you come to playoffs and you're playing them, up to 7-game series.
Especially if you watch a game like that, 2 battles of 2 of the best teams in the West, you kind of think those are the 2 teams that are going to make it there. But I also could see teams like the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, that West is just so stacked. Any of those teams can really come out of it. I don't know about the East. None of those teams really have a shot unless they really put it together.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to rotate to the college aspects, and we're going to start off with college football. This year, college football has featured many upsets. And speaking of Penn State, who is one of the top teams, they're 3-3 right now. Who do you think are kind of contenders and maybe like a pretender you have, and then who is your Heisman pick?
So I think the contenders are, obviously you got Indiana, Ohio State. I have Bama and then Georgia Tech as contenders, and my main pretender is Texas A&M. They're ranked 3rd in the country, but they haven't really played a strong SEC opponent yet. They haven't played Bama, haven't played Georgia. So we just don't know if they're ready, like battle tested yet. But Indiana, I love. I really think Indiana has a shot. Mendoza is one of my Heisman finalists, along with Diego Pavia, but that's just for the vibes, basically. Vanderbilt's been great as well. But, I mean, Mendoza's been incredible. I don't think you can have a world where he is not at the top of your list right now, especially with how well Indiana's playing.
Yeah, for me, I think if Bama keeps doing their thing, I mean, I think it's I don't know if I'm just used to seeing Bama, be the best team in football, but they've only played like that ever since week 1 when they took an unfortunate loss. But they've beat their last 4 ranked opponents. They've looked strong. Ty Simpson, of course, I think he's another name that can easily win Heisman. And again, I just think if you are the 2 other guys that you mentioned, it's just so tough to win at a smaller school. I mean, we saw with Ashton Genty last year and the numbers that he put up, and still not coming out with the Heisman, of course. I mean, that definitely unique year last year. But I think if as long as Alabama doesn't have just a catastrophic loss, I think it's going to be hard for Ty Simpson not to just end up with the most votes and come out with the Heisman.
Yeah. I think the contenders are definitely what have been shown so far, Indiana and Ohio State, but the SEC is the SEC, so the battles between Georgia and Alabama have kind of shown they've been best. But I think one of the teams that has been really good this year is BYU, but I don't really see them coming out of the Big 12. Yeah. They're playing like a linebacker at quarterback, which is kind of wild. And then for my Heisman pick, I'm going to go off of your Texas A&M disrespect. And I know Texas A&M in the past has always been pretenders, but they've finally gotten over the hump a little bit this year. And I'm going to go Marcel Reed as a little dark horse here, who, if he can win the big games against the big SEC teams he faces, I think he deserves it, as Texas A&M really hasn't seen much success because they're always losing to these mediocre teams.
I would love to be proved wrong, but I don't trust Elko in coaching those big games yet. He has not proven anything at that. But if Texas A&M would win versus Bama or Georgia or any of those big SEC schools, I mean, I'd love it. I mean, it's great. I just don't think they have the talent to do it.
I think there's also a world where these Big Ten teams are not as good as you see as Indiana and Ohio State are playing 0 ranked teams to finish out the year.
I feel like that's what we saw from Indiana last year. It was a great record on paper, but once playoffs rolled around, it just didn't look like the same team. So, I mean, I know they changed how playoff rankings are going to be, but it's going to be interesting to see those teams come down the stretch again and see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Big Ten and SEC are going to reign supreme, but I don't know. ACC isn't Georgia Tech, and Virginia's even sneaking up. I don't think Virginia's going to make the playoffs, but Georgia Tech is the big team in the ACC. Haynes King is really good. I love that offense. I really think they're a true contender. Also, if they get with how the seedings are, as you pointed out, I think they get a 7 seed. I think they have a chance to make it a decent way, but then again, college football runs through SEC and Big Ten, so I feel like one of those teams will win.
I was going to throw in Notre Dame as well, even though they lost their first 2 games. I think Jeremiah Love also is a huge Heisman possible just because of how good he's been and how he's basically carried these teams over the past couple of weeks, and I could definitely see them getting in. All right, our final topic is going to be college basketball. Who is your kind of really early prediction to take home the national championship and kind of a sleeper team you can see?
So I guess my pick very well could be seen as a sleeper, but I absolutely love Big East basketball, and I don't believe Dan Hurley's run at the top is done. I think as long as UConn doesn't look like if UConn, I think they could be any seed, kind of like the year they won coming in as a 6th seed. I think if they make, obviously when they make March Madness, and if they're looking anything like the Mold Selves, I don't think of a team that would want to play them. It's so scary to say a team like Purdue and Houston, just because honestly, I don't even think I can point my finger at what holds them back, but something usually holds those teams back every year. I just think with college basketball and how much NIL has affected it, and even with this new wave of the SEC kind of almost not fully taking over, but definitely making a more impact on college basketball than it has in the past, that coaching is so important in today's era of college basketball, and I think Dan Hurley is the best coach in NCAA. So as long as UConn is looking at what they're supposed to be, I think they can. I really do think that they can win. I'd probably if I were a betting man, I put my money at the start. I think it's a fun pick, but it's also very realistic. They had a 7-footer freshman from Turkey, Rezan Elelze, UConn. They've had size, but I mean that 7-foot size. I mean, obviously he's a freshman, and we don't know how much time we're gonna see, but having that factor, another thing that has been very important in coming down the stretch in March Madness, having a guy that big, I really think that they can get it done.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of what you said about being scared to take the big dogs, and I'm going to take Houston, because the thing that's been holding Houston back has been their three-point shooting. They have not been statistically as good as they've been in the regular season versus March Madness, and that's like a big thing. Houston basketball, Kelvin Sampson, I think, is personally the best coach in college basketball. Dan Hurley's up there, but I think Sampson really preaches that teamwork connectivity that you need to have a good run, and his defense is elite. Like, they're always a top 5 defensive team in the country, and their guards, they got two great transfers, and both those guys can shoot the lights out, and I think that's really what they've been missing. And then a sleeper team, I'm a UNC guy, so I really don't like this, but NC State's my sleeper team to make a deep run. Will Wade just wins. I mean, I don't know what it is about that man. He did it at McNeese. I mean, he got them upsetting, I don't even remember who they upset. Clemson. And, I mean, I love that roster. Darren Williams, guy from Texas Tech, is very, very solid. They got some good guard play. It's going to be very tough in the ACC, especially with Duke, Louisville, maybe UNC. I don't think they're going to be as good. But the only thing I'm struggling about NC State is their center play. They stole UNC's Van Allen Lubin, who's like 6'6", and he's playing center. So it's like a Draymond who can't shoot. That's the only thing I think holds them back. But their roster is very, very solid top to bottom. I think Will Wade's going to get them going in March.
Yeah, I'm going to go with big dog too in Purdue. I got the privilege to watch Braden Smith run that Purdue offense, and he is one of the best leading players. They just run pick and rolls the whole time, and Braden Smith does it to perfection. And now they're bringing in a bunch of new transfers who are just really good. Oscar Clough, who was, I believe, North Dakota State before, had a huge impact on that team, and he's probably going to help out this Purdue team run the pick and rolls around as Braden Smith runs around and dishes the rock or shoots it. And then for my sleeper team, I was going to go NC State, but I'm going to go Indiana. They just brought in a new coach who also brings in his son with him, Tucker DeVries, who's also really good. And they brought in a ton of transfers. They basically transformed that whole program and the culture, and I can just see them being a better team this year than they have been in the past.
Yeah, I like Indiana as well. Another sleeper team is Iowa. They brought in Drake's Bennett Sturts. He is incredible. Shot creating guard. He's a very great passer. I really think they have a chance to make some magic in the Big Ten. I mean, that's not a super, super strong conference in terms of basketball-wise, but I think they have a good shot to go. I think they'll make the tournament, which is a big step in the right direction for Iowa basketball. So. Yeah,
I think a really fun team going to be watching is BYU. I mean, again, just kind of going back to NIL and the impact it's had on that school specifically. And that with that NIL, the addition of freshman AJ DiBanza, 31 points in his first showing with the team, like that. Like, I don't know how you can't get excited about that. I mean, it's obviously tough with how the game is. You know, freshmen trying to come in and take you to the finals. It's we haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm very excited to see this team when they get to March.
Yeah.
College basketball this year is going to be crazy. We're going to go to break here and come back with some wild takes. Welcome back from break. We're going to do some wild takes, as each of us will have 45 seconds to present our take. And I'll start off with a little college football and the Cincinnati football team. I believe they can make the playoffs. I think they can get a win, even if they get in. And I think looking at the Big 12, there just isn't much to show. And I think Brendan Sorsby, the football quarterback of Cincinnati, has had a really good year. And I can see them beating BYU, Arizona State, those type of teams. I just think they are the best of the best, and they're currently ranked 21, and they've had a really good season so far.
Yeah, I mean, they are ranked 21, so I'll give you credit for that. It's not a horrible take, but I don't think they play BYU later in the year. I think 2 weeks from now. I don't think they get through BYU. Like we said earlier, BYU's quarterback is legit a linebacker. So I think he'll just run through that entire defense. I don't believe Cincinnati's defense is like good enough to beat BYU and to beat Sam Leavitt and Arizona State. They are second in the Big 12 right now, conference standing-wise. But I think when they lose to BYU, I think Arizona State might have the tiebreaker over them, and I think Arizona State's going to win out and ultimately win the Big 12. So I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and I'm just going to skip over conference play and go straight to playoffs. I would be shocked. I mean, I really think the college football world would be turned over if Cincinnati finds himself with a playoff win this season. When I just think about seeding in my head and where the top 4 teams will probably end up, and then the 5 and 6 seeds, I just don't see a world where they would be able to get a playoff win. It would need to be a perfect scenario, and they would have to play very good football. So that's where I'm going to draw the line on that hot take for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they might even be ranked the 12th seed if they get in. Like USF, South Florida, or like Tulane could even be ranked above them and get the 11th seed in the playoffs. So if you have to play a 5 seed, who would that be? Like Bama, Georgia, Texas A&M. I did call Texas A&M pretenders, but I still think they beat Cincinnati. So I don't see the winning a playoff game. I don't see winning the Big 12 either.
I think if they get to the playoffs, they win the Big 12. I think they need the right matchup to win. I think Texas A&M always has weaknesses, and there's always a world where they can lose to these smaller schools. But I think with the Big 12, I think they can beat BYU. As we talked about, they have a linebacker at quarterback. Even though he can run people over, he can't really throw the ball. And I feel that if they are able to watch some tape, see what they do, and stop that offense, they can score. They've been great. They've had great chemistry all season long. I just see a world where a team like Cincinnati, who we haven't seen in the playoffs for a couple of years and even made it far back and kind of gave Alabama somewhat of a run for their money with their strong defense, I think that Cincinnati can make it to the playoffs and win a game.
Yeah. Well, for my take, I'm going a bit something that isn't as possible. This is probably biased, but I got the Carolina Panthers, who are 4-3 right now, winning the NFC South. They are only 1 game back. Our D coordinator's playing great, getting our defense playing great. J.C. Horn has been incredible. We are ranked as the 7th best defense in the NFL right now. We're undefeated at home. And Bryce Young, on his career, is 7-3 with 72% completion percentage when the Panthers rush for over 100 yards. And I don't know if you've been watching, but we got a man called Rico Dowdle. It's 4th in rushing yards on the year. He started 2 games. We would have to take down the Bucs. We haven't played them yet. But I think we win at least one of those games. I think the Bucs can fall off. We got reports that Baker might not even play this week, so they could lose that week. And then if we win, although we do play the Bills, but if we beat the Bills at home, we're undefeated at home, we have a chance. I think there's a strong chance.
I completely disagree with this. As I was talking very highly about the Bucs. I think the Bucs will beat you guys twice. Honestly, I think the Falcons may have a better chance at winning the division. Just
hold up.
Rico Dowdle is just, again, unbelievable. 2 performances, genuinely unbelievable. But it's a split backfield now. They're paying Hubbard. They have to play him. And you saw in the last game, it wasn't a 200-yard performance, even combined with the both of them. So, if anything, I think that's going to hold you guys back from being as dominant as you are rushing. I just think Baker Mayfield is why that take is not true, just him alone.
Yeah, this is a little bit outrageous. Talking about Rico Dowdle, he ran over the Cowboys and Dolphins. Nothing special there. Those are probably 2 of the worst defenses in the leagues. And just overall, I love my Patriots. They're 5-2 right now. They're rolling. They beat you guys by 40 points. If you think you're beating the Bills, you're dreaming there. I just can't see how this is happening. Baker's taking that division, and I'd even give the Falcons a better chance.
The Falcons is crazy. Michael Penix the Falcons is Bijan and friends. I don't think the Falcons.
Bijan's pretty good.
Bijan is pretty good. But I don't think Bijan is enough, especially Michael Penix. He's horrible, and I think we easily. I don't think the Saints are an issue. So that's 2 wins there, and then realistically, the Bucs play a tougher schedule than we do. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities if our defense keeps playing well. We are playing Andy Dalton. at quarterback versus the Bills. But hey, get old Bengals Andy Dalton back out for the Bills in Bank of America Stadium. We beat the Bills. Hey, I'm going to come back and tell you there's a chance, even more of a chance. It's not going to be as wild.
And with that, I'll go to my hot take, more of just a hot take and a call out to Stephen Ross, owner of the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins will finish last in the AFC East. They look like the worst football team in the NFL. It is such a hard watch. I've been a fan my whole life. My dad's been suffering for a longer amount of time, but even when I was watching like Brock Osweiler play quarterback and Jay Carter, like this has been the Browns game was the worst football game I've ever watched in my entire life. I don't think we'll win a game. I think the Jets will sneak out 2 wins, and I think we'll finish last. And I guess I'll just go even more with this hot take. I don't think I'm gonna see the Dolphins win until there's like a mini me running around. It's just I think the Dolphins are an implosion of a team, and it's just absolutely ridiculous that McDaniel or Chris Greer has been fired. So it's just I just think the Dolphins are like just the worst organization in sports. I guess that'll be my take. Dolphins are the worst organization in sports.
How long are you waiting to have a kid?
I don't know, but I don't think it matters. We're just
Not have a win is crazy.
We haven't. I would have defended Tua if I was the last man on earth last year that believed in him. I can't do that anymore. They're really bad. He's really bad. So I really don't. I really think we can finish 1-16 this season.
I mean, I thought you were forgetting about the Jets in your division. The Jets are horrible.
Because the Jets will fire their head coach before us.
I don't think so.
Maybe they'll get some. I think we're stuck with. I don't know why we just don't make any changes, but I really don't think. I think the Dolphins may go the next season with McDaniel and Chris Greer, which would be absolutely ridiculous. And I think it'll be the same thing. I just don't see a world where we win a game after losing to Dylan Gabriel by almost over 25 points. Just ridiculous.
Lost to Judkins, which is
I'd love to give you the worst organization in sports if the Jets didn't exist.
Exactly. That's
they're
my
one
only.
of the worst teams I think I've ever seen play.
I have to give you guys something to argue because there's not much there with the Dolphins just being bad. But I really do think being a Jets fan right now, not historically, of course. I mean. Right now, being a Dolphins fan is worse than being a Jets fan, and I will defend that.
Being winless is better than being a Dolphins fan.
I don't think that. I really think they will end third in the AFC East. They'll find some win. Some team will play a really bad game.
You think the Jets beat them?
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
I think the Jets are going to take down the Dolphins for sure, and then it'll be week 18. Jets are going to play a team that has their playoff spot. They'll get a win there. Won't be like a meaningful win, but they'll probably end with 2 wins, and we're going to end with 1 win. That's how the season.
That make the AFC East the worst division in football?
Do you think the Dolphins are as bad as the Saints?
I think Spencer Rattler's been playing really good football. Well,
he's actually been very solid.
Yeah. I just don't think there's anything to look forward to. Hope the season ends tomorrow. But yeah, my take.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the show, and we'll see you next time.